Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, April 7th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here we are, opening the week here with another dramatic decline. We are off the lows of the overnight trade. You can see Sunday evening here gapping down and dropping to new lows here in that first hour. Since then, those are the lows of the overnight and pre-market trade as prices bounce back up. This is a modest reversal. This is nice. This is a really nice reversal. One of the things we've mentioned before during this entire drop was we needed one of two things. We needed either a very strong low, a significant strong low, or we need a capitulation event. And it looks like we've gotten the capitulation that's happened here. That's clearly a capitulation event. Super fears everything dumps here, and now we've kind of seen a developing strong low here. Now, of course, this market remains highly bearish. But one thing here that we can tend to find at times is at least a zone to park in terms of a range for price to park for a while and digest the recent move. And from that strong pivot high on a Wednesday down to this pivot low on a Friday, or on a Monday rather, are we able to see a little bit of a bounce back? Even if just a dead cat bounce back to, say, 5,300, and you have yourself a new super large key range. And that could lead to at least some digestive price action within those extremes. But man, if we can't, again, pull off some sort of strong low here soon, again, this can continue to cascade lower, which is what we've been talking about this entire time. This 4-day range completely eclipses the 4-day range that the 3-day range that we saw last July into August. Right there, remember the significance of that 3-day move? This was one of the largest 3-day moves we'd seen in a while. That was an August 5th, like flash crash event. And that was a massive 3-day range. Now you look at the magnitude here of this 4-day range, significant. So again, this market right now coming into a Monday has the look and feel of something that could perhaps bounce, some sort of reactionary bounce. It needs above 50-50, basically. It needs above the high in order to really open up at least a little bit of continuation to the upside. Again, this is just a highly bearish event that will take an equally spectacular finishing rejection here to kind of turn things at least a little bit. Can we get that going? Because if not, again, there could be much more cascading to the downside. If we look at, I cleaned up my FOMC key levels over the past couple of years here, and one of the things I left was last year's unfinished or open FOMC key levels. And on this move, we've gone down to fill a couple of the biggest. The May 1st open FOMC key level right there, filled, or technically here I guess it gapped through the level but got back to it. And then you have your January 31st FOMC key level. That had been left unfilled for about, 13-14 months? I guess longer. It's January here to April. So for the most part, FOMC key levels that have been left open for a very long time have finally been filled. So some big time unfinished business has been finished here. We do have one left right here, two big ones left. This is the December 13th right there from 23, and then this is the November 1st from 23, which began this rally here, this recent leg. You know, we had the checkmark drop into Q4 and then a checkmark rally into Q4. Great Q4 rally. That 11-1 event was a Fed event, and that's the last one that remains unfilled here. So 4,700 and 4230. What's next? So wanted to do a quick deep dive here on the ES. This is a significant event here. Again, don't want to front run any kind of strength here, as the magnitude of selling has just been overwhelming. But this looks promising. This looks promising at the moment. Can it hang on? The RTH Open will tell us a lot. Again, if we can get through 50-50, it starts to open up a little bit of an upside. If it can get to 53.02, we have ourselves a new key range. and we can do some long-term business planning here on this range. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ and kind of finish up a little quickly here. Very similar price action. 4-day drop, 16,460. A big time drop here. It's wiped out massive levels all the way down. That 17,000 level right there. Big time area support, even down a little bit lower here with CLVN. And we're seeing again modest signs of a reversal off the lows from the overnight trade. Double bottom at 16.5 and holding back above the 17K level. Again, from a 60-minute chart perspective, even from a say a 15-minute chart perspective, this thing looks modestly bullish right now. It looks like it has enough to get things going. We will see. Again, so far, that right there, that's your Wednesday to Friday move into Monday, one of the biggest 4-day ranges likely on record here. You can see it right there, 289% of ADR, 35.84 in terms of the number of points of range. That is massive. So can we get ourselves a small reprieve here? Can we get ourselves a little bit of a bounce back? 18,252 would be that target, which would give us a massive key range to do business from here. But again, got to finish off today. We haven't even really started the RTH session, so we have to really start today with a good finish in order for us to kind of work toward that target here, because until then, this market's still hunting lower, but we've gotten to the point here where some sort of reactionary bounce could be in play. This market here would need above the 17.3 level in order to get things going to the upside even more. All right, let's look here at crude oil. Crude right now off by 2.5%. This has also seen a significant meltdown here, which really started here on the first trading day of the month, right up there, as a big time meltdown, a big impulse move down, and we hit 58.95 today. We have dropped into the 50s for the first time in a super long time. Now, we got close on Friday, got to about 60-40s, but we've gotten into the 50s here for the first time in a long time. You got to go all the way back to, I guess, right about here, which is the March of 21, where we've been to these levels. So big time meltdown here, impulse sell-off. And again, can we get ourselves a bookend low? Now, while this is not as strong of a turnaround as what we're seeing in the NQ and the ES right now, it does provide some pretty good turnaround. It does have similar characteristics in the intraday chart. If this thing can get above 61, 61 quarter, it starts to open up a little upside. Can we get back to 65, 62? That would be, again, a new key range to work from near-term and longer-term perspective. So, again, keeping an eye on this area. 60 right now. You know, this market doesn't want to trade below 60. So, if we can get ourselves a good rejection, we may have ourselves a bit of a 5-point bounce ahead, which could cement ourselves a new key range. We'll see. Gold. Gold is about break-even right now. Pullback, impulse pullback, something we noted in our trading room a couple of days ago, which was, I guess, Monday, Tuesday, was what we need in gold right now is one swift pullback and then a bounce to get a new key range, and that will give us something to build from here as this thing kind of digests the recent move a bit, builds out a bit more, and then continues an upward trajectory. Again, until proven otherwise. This market's been so strong. It has been the defensive asset here to hold, and you can just see the tremendous upside it's had compared to the broader market here. We have seen an impulse move now. Can we get back to that 31 or 30.95 level, close to 3100 here? If so, that gives us a nice little key range to work from moving forward, and could give us the next major upside target, which would be 34.18 based off this impulse move. So we'll see if we can get that key range started up. If we look at the YM, down 2% again heading into the RTH Open, and this one hit again a significant FOMC key level. It's the December 13th FOMC key level from way back in 2023, and it filled that level. So the FOMC key level is right there. That day it went bid and remained unfilled. And that's the last one I have on the board here, because all the other ones pretty much have been filled. That was the last unfilled one I had on the board. We have filled it now. 37,000. Look at the CLVN. You can see kind of a B shape here, and then a major CLVN at 37,000, and everything below with 34K as a CVPOC. Again, this is enough evidence right here to perhaps suggest that we are at or near low. We could be looking at a bounce opportunity back toward 39,772, and that could give us just a tremendous sized key range here with long-term targets here, but also perhaps a bit of a long-term build out between those extremes as the market sorts itself out with economic policy here. Again, don't want to front run too excitedly that this is the strong low, but the signs are pretty decent and something to work off of, which means, you watch a developing midpoint today like a 37.3. It's got to hold for the most part. You want to see price push basically above the 38K level and close. That could open up more heading into tomorrow. Can we get ourselves a little bit of a relief bounce back up? Maybe not here, but again, decent levels here to watch. Now, if we're looking at crypto, it's a bloodbath here. Bitcoin down 8% right now, 8.5%, and is below the 80K level. This thing wiping out even more into the 74,635 level. Now, one thing I've mentioned here to begin the year was if we got an early pullback to 75 to 80, that could offer a tremendous buying opportunity for the next rotation back up, back to the high, back into new upside projected targets. Now, this is a different market environment than where we were when I mentioned that comment. So we're there now, and ultimately it could be a tremendous opportunity, but is this the low? Is there more downside ahead? This market has hung in there a little better than some of the others, but again has still pulled back. This is a decent spot right here, but man, this is the edge. You fail at 75, 74, 75, and now you're going back to 60 or 50. So this is a tremendous edge. It's the previous quarter's low. Again, if we wanted to choose an area that would provide a decent buying opportunity, this would be it. Quarterly low, a drop to begin the quarter into that low, and then maybe a snap back. Maybe a snap back into the quarterly mid, and then we continue to trade. So this is a decent spot again, like the other markets, but these markets really need to prove a low. Now, the one that's completely getting slaughtered right now, Ethereum, 16.87% lower. We are at the 1,500 level right now, and we just missed 1,400. If you recall, over the last couple of weeks, obviously I've had to readjust where a great entry point would be. Initially, we said somewhere between 21 and 22. We got almost there and bounced, and then when we got there the next time, it was not the right time. So we've watched this thing continue to go down, and the next level I mentioned was 1,400. Could be a tremendous value area here because 14 back to recently broken support at 28. That's a double. Now, it may not get there soon, but that's a double just to get back to recent key support. And then if you get up here back to recent highs, it's a triple. 1,400 does the math back across the way. Now, the all-time lows, I guess if you want to call it all-time futures lows or recent all-time lows, right around 1,000. Do we just wipe that out now? And we've gone from 1,000 up to the 4,100 level, and now we've gone all the way back very, very quickly. And that move from 1,000 up took a little while. It took, 2 years at least? And it's taken mere, a quarter back down, 5 months, not even 4 months. So it's been a big time drop. Can we get into a bounce off this 1,400 level? So again, we're in a price zone that makes sense. We're not quite getting the reaction, and this has been, hang this one up there with Tesla among the worst performers to begin the year here, but we're entering a spot where something could get interesting. So a supersized pre-market video here for you all, given recent events here. We'll see if today provides a little bit of ray of light, or do we continue to see big time weakness ahead. All right, folks, thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the trading room this week. Take care.